resumed once again. I'm very apologies about that. So where were we? Talking about Lucas, weren't we? So let's see if I'm actually live or not. Just give it a few seconds to pop up indeed. 8:52, 6:52, that's right now in the UK time. Yes, we are back live, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure what happened. It says it just stopped broadcasting. So quite strange on my area there, but we'll back in the pit lane.
3 minutes remaining, and Erik and Isbrand, they are already out on track, and they are the first ones to do so. So maybe with a possibility of being able to do another lap. If they mess up their first attempt or they invalidate, they could back off and recharge and possibly try again. That's the only reason why they would go out earlier than usual. Isbrand, he is invalidated his out lap, which doesn't matter, but he is going to be starting his lap time soon, and at the same time people will start going out of the pit lane, so let's hope he doesn't get any impeded on his lap, because that's going to be tricky as well. We got 2.5 minutes remaining, and Isbrand is about to start his lap. The man who had to sit out last race because of a race ban that he got during a few incidents in Hungary, he is back and he's fighting for pole position again as he heads up in towards turn 1, hitting the apex quite nicely then onto the exit, now flat out and into the SS. The Haas driver doesn't need to find a lot of time, but he needs to find some time, as he's 31 thousandths of a second now at the exit of sector 1. He's up, he's not up on his time, he's down by 007, so he needs to find a bit more time through the second part, but he keeps it nice and tight. It looks like a tidy lap. He's close to beating his time as Robbe is in pit lane. Robbe is going out very late, as he now, with 1 minute 40 on the clock, is starting his out lap. I'm not sure why, but he is going to have to drive a pretty quick out lap and can't really take much time warming up his tires. But let's take a look at his rival right now. In second place, Isbrand down into the braking zone of turn 12. Cuts the the inside of the track, but not too much. A 1:00.7 is a very good middle sector, and he's up by 1.5 tenths as he heads now into the final sector. Only a handful of corners remaining, and it looks like he is going to go on to provisional pole position. But there's still plenty of drivers out there who can go faster as well. Isbrand now into the penultimate corner, needs to keep it within the white lines, and he does so very nicely indeed. Into the final corner he goes. What is his lap time gonna be? Surely it's gonna be quicker than Robbe, and it is a 1:30.204. What a lap, 3 tenths clear ahead of anyone right now.
Raised the bar massively. What a lap time there from Isbrand, a 30.2, 3 tenths separates to him and Robbie Jacobs. Can you believe it? Can anybody respond? We're about to find out in 30 seconds time when the flag falls. We've got F1 Shorts on a flying lap in the Mercedes. We've got Robbie Jacobs, who is very close to cutting the beam. He will make it in time after a few corner cuttings, I believe, in the first sector, so hopefully he does make it in time. But F1 Shorts towards the middle sector, 0.9. He's been showing some good pace. He did struggle with his wheel a few moments ago in Q2, but hopefully his wheels is sorted out and he can do 100% performance. Upshifted quite early to 4th gear there, must be said. Got bogged down as we make our way now towards this triple hand. Here we go. Let's see. Can F1 Shorts, who won the Belgian Grand Prix, get anywhere near amongst the top of the pack? We're about to find out now because there's one more corner left to go. What can the Mercedes do? Cross the line. It's P3 for F1 Shorts. Decent lap time there. Robbie Jacobs in 2 tenths up, 3 tenths up. Here he is towards the final corner. Let's see what Van could do. It's P2. Van goes up into P2. What a mega lap time. Kick into validator, like I said. Fireblaze is 2.5 tenths up in the middle center. So Fireblaze is on a decent lap. Can he put himself amongst the pitchers there, as we're about to find out now? Get himself on the pecking order as he makes his way now towards turn 19, carrying it through 5th gear, keeping the plants on the exit, heading towards the final corner. What can the Dutchman do? Second place in the championship. Massive wheel spin. Fireblaze up into P5, lost a bit of time in that final sector as Haas goes up into P2. It's a 30.2 there, and it's such fine margins as Kevin goes up into P3 as well as 30.4. But it is Isbrand on pole. Lucas P9 as Eric goes up into P9 just as Isbrand's on pole ahead of Haas in P2. Kevin, it's a McLaren 3-4. What a fantastic display from McLaren in third and fourth. Robbie Jacobs in P... No, it's not here. He's towards the line. What's he going to do? It's P3 with a 30.3 there as he displaces both McLarens and puts himself on the second row of the field there. Just popped out at the very last second, didn't he? And now there are your classifications. What a qualifying session. And your championship leader is back on pole.
Man, what a lap time from Eastbound. 130.7, but Geitenkaas as well. Only one lap time in Q3, and what a lap it was. With an insanely quick lap time to get very close near Eastbound, but just missing out by a few hundredths of a second. But that was very competitive in the final part of qualifying. The top two both with a 130.2. Robbe a bit further back than he would have liked, but he's still very much going to be in contention for the race win. And we've got the entire top 9 within 4/10 of each other. Lucas unable to get the representative final lap time. It is always very competitive, and tonight is no different. The McLaren's P4 and P5, Kevin, he was a bit on the back foot in this qualifying, but in the end he did manage to get himself onto the second row, which is more than enough to put him in contention for a good result as well. But what a qualifying that was.
It was indeed, with only one Belgium inside the top 10 there.
Yeah, very close indeed.
You've got to remember as well, there is no formation lap. So, we're going to get racing underway very shortly here in Texas. We're seeing overtakes down in towards turn 1 plenty of times. Lewis Hamilton on Nico Rosberg back in 2015 as well. We saw Sebastian Vettel go down the inside of Valtteri Bottas, or Lewis Hamilton in 2017. We saw Kimi Raikkonen up the inside of Lewis Hamilton in 2018. We've seen plenty of overtakes. We saw Max Verstappen on Charles Leclerc. We saw Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and Max Verstappen go at it in towards turn 1. So the inside line can be preferred, but we'll see what happens. With the width of the corner into turn 1, you can go 3 abreast, try and take the high line, but which is the best place to be in towards turn number 1? As Lando Norris found out that... where he was the best place to be because they didn't shut the door off for Verstappen. Verstappen came sneaking through. They both went wide, and therefore Charles Leclerc took the lead of the Grand Prix, and Ferrari finished 1-2. I tried like this. We didn't expect it whatsoever, but Ferrari had some mega pace towards the low end of the season as well. You see some fantastic battles in his past history as well here in Texas. We saw Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen 2021 when Hamilton tried to hunt down Verstappen but couldn't quite do it. Back in 2018 when Hamilton tried to go around the outside of Verstappen, but he couldn't quite do it either because he went off the track. Kimi Raikkonen went on to win that race. Verstappen versus Raikkonen in 2017, but he undertook him off the track. Therefore, had to give his place back as well. But yeah, I do really love this track as well. It just provides some fantastic entertainment in its past history. It's just wheel-to-wheel action in those sequence of corners in the final sector, and we'll see what it has to display here as well. For tonight's Grand Prix, not really sunny. It is cloudy. It was cloudy towards the end of Q3. So could we see? And look at that, the light's about to go away. Then. We are underway here in Texas, and it's round 10. It's foot to the floor as we now head towards turn 1. Here comes the RB, who takes the lead immediately. Uphill in towards turn 1 he go. Haas now takes the lead, but Robbie Jacobs is side by side. But no, here comes Eastbound. Back down the inside, in towards turn 2 they go. Oh. And Eastbound retakes the lead of the Grand Prix with much better traction around the outside as they all fire through. We can see Williams versus the Ferrari. That's Kick. And Fireblades going side by side. There's a Williams and Lucas off the track. Fireblades now is ahead of Kick as Kick has to for F1 shorts. More squabbling here in the midfield. We've got Mike, who's up into 11th place, goes through. Daniela in the Haas, but he goes off the track. The exit of turn 9 there does Mike. So might get compromised heading towards the next few corners. But so far, Lucas has got a 10-second time penalty already in this Grand Prix for gaining 1 place. That's the moment we saw he went off the track there. So already a big dent in his Grand Prix, a massive blunder. And here comes the RB right behind Eastbound as Haas is still looking for his first win of the season. Said plenty of times before, but can he finally do it? There's a long way to go. We've got Lucas versus F1 Shorts now going side by side, but Lucas just puts the wheel ahead. We haven't even talked about the tyre strategy just yet. So majority on the medium compound tyres. There's more contact between the Mercedes and Ruben. Ruben goes up the inside. Here comes Mike up the inside of Ruben now. These two in a big battle back in the Chinese Grand Prix, and Ruben just sneaks in front there. But a relatively clean lap so far, other than a few people going off the track as well, and Lucas picking himself up a 10-second time penalty. So here we are then. It is lap 2 of the Grand Prix. It is Eastbound leading, but the guys behind look very feisty.
Indeed, so a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 1, lap 1 between Mike and Eric as one of the Red Bulls swerves to the inside of the track. Eric and Mike making contact, almost sending both of them off track, but they did lose out a bit of time. This is why Eric is down to P12, but he's trying to fight back. The car ahead of him is F1 Short, who is on the hard compound tire. Only the two Mercedes are. Everyone else is on the medium compound tires, but quite aggressive lap 1, it must be said, between all drivers. But they have to keep it quite clean, so everyone is still pointing in the right direction, and nobody has fallen behind so far. It's Daniele with a 3-second time penalty already on lap 2. That is far from ideal. We know this track is difficult with track limits like we've seen in qualifying, but getting a penalty on lap 2, that is going to make his race very difficult indeed. Here comes Geitekaas, and he's going to go for the race lead. We're going to have a new race leader on lap 2, but here comes Rob as well. He's going to go for the double move. Going in to turn 12, the Alpine backs off. Geitekaas in the lead, Robert to P2, and Eastbrand is dropping down now to P3.
Hello Racing Nerd, how are you doing, mate? Nice to see you in the chat. As Eastbound then, with that power of the DRS, it got shuffled backwards into P3 then, as now Haas takes the lead of the Grand Prix with Robert in P2 as well. Eastbound in P3, both McLaren still in hot pursuit in P4 and P5, so decent start there for both McLaren drivers. Didn't really gain anything or lose anything either, but the biggest loser out of all that was F1 Short, so he just dropped back loads of places, but he is on the hard compound tyres then, so expected to drop back as well in the early stages of this Grand Prix then. So we're heading on to lap 3 as Haas has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in this race, comfortable up there in first place, but we know it will be comfortable because the guys behind have DRS. It could be a big DRS trade as well from first all the way down to 8th as Lucas is just on the back of it as well. Mike gets ahead of Eric. In fact, Eric gets ahead of F1 Short, sorry. Eric now puts himself into P11, trying to make up after lost ground after a miserable start there for the Aston Martin, as he already lost the DRS towards the guys ahead, so not ideal. You want to be in DRS in the early stages of this Grand Prix to just follow through, but unfortunately he is out of it, and it might be a bit of pain to get back in there as well. But here we are then heading down towards turn 10. Is anybody going to force a move on the inside? Ruben picks himself up at 3, second penalty, also playing with his chances of track limits here. But as we exit turn 11 then, with all these guys having DRS, is there going to be any more changes? Is Eastbound looking for revenge now as he wants to get past and put himself into P2, putting himself behind the leader? But here comes Robbie now on the leader as he puts himself now into 12th place. The chess pieces on the board are moving as there's a bit of Costino effect going on. McLaren and Kevin hit the back of Eastbound, Ivan hit the back of Kevin as there's more changes to the midfield. The F1 Shorts losing places left, right and centre, still on the hard compound tyre. Doesn't seem to get picked up any front wind damage, so just generally struggling for grip out there as the track is still green. As we see that Daniel now puts himself into P11 as Eric looking for the switch back, but he can't quite do so and has to stay behind for the time being then.
As expected, DRS train starting to form as one of the McLarens runs very wide. That is Kevin out of turn 19. We've seen him have trouble with track limits in the qualifying session. Daniele picks up another 3-second time penalty, so the Haas are really struggling as his teammate Eastbrand is still in hot pursuit of the two cars in front. So DRS train all the way down to P8. Mike already falling behind, is unable to follow the two Williams drivers who are sandwiched by the two Ferraris, as they are in a constructors fight, of course. And then they're both following the two McLarens, but Robbe, Geitekaas and Eastbrand have been swapping places so far in the top 3, and the Belgian driver finds himself in the lead of this race. Was P3 on the grid, but he has very quickly turned it into the lead of this race. But it is going to be a DRS turn all the way to the first pit stops. At the end of the stint, sorry, as Robbe leads, but not for too much longer, I think, because Geitekaas, with the help of DRS slipstream, is going to pull alongside again, and Geitekaas retakes the lead of this race on lap 4. So we're going to see a lot of swapping early on in this race, as that's Eastbrand up the inside as well with Robbe side by side in turn 12. Robbe a little bit wide, but he's still going wheel to wheel with the Hassers. They're fighting it out for second place in the middle part of the lap, still going wheel to wheel. The Haas now up the inside for the next turn. Is he going to be able to get the job done? No, he isn't. Robbe still hanging around the outside, still going wheel to wheel now into the triple right-hander. Eastbrand keeping his foot in, but Robbe eventually gets the position back as they're fighting it out quite hard in the early stages of this race.
Yeah, no slouch there for Robbie Jacobs as he defended against Eastbound, and what a fantastic defence that was. And now he's left Eastbound in the clutches of Kevin right behind as well. He was not ready to give up as Mummy Nick overtook TVHNL on the last lap. Now he picks himself up a 3-second time penalty in this race. Ruben gets ahead of Mike. He puts himself now into P9, trying to catch the back of this DRS train. The gap is 2.1 seconds, but it's so difficult now. That's what happens when you split up the DRS train in the first stint. It's so important not to lose that 1 second. Try to follow the train in the first stint, and that's when you want to plan your moves later on as well. But Eastbound and Robbie, good respect for both drivers, giving each other enough space and room on the inside, on the outside as well. Fighting so hard as Eastbound has a massive oversteer moment out of turn 9. He goes then, heading down towards turn 11. We've seen a lot of people chopping and changing at the bit there, just moving places left, right, and centre, being demoted from first to third or upwards as well. But here we are with the DRS. Kevin's looking very interested as well. Doesn't want to get stuck in the DRS train behind these guys. So DRS is wide open. Kevin's forced to move. Here he comes with the battery as well. Eastbound is forced to overtake Robbie Jacobs as he puts himself almost in second place, but now he's side by side in towards turn 12. Wheel to wheel stuff between these two as Robbie Jacobs still holds on there. But there's contact between Kevin and Eastbound as Kevin hit the back of him going down towards turn 12, almost caused him to spin, but luckily kept that car points in the right direction. So Eastbound was forced into an overtake, but he couldn't quite do it.
Eastbound and Rob is still fighting it out like they is on last lap, but the most important thing is that they keep it within the DRS range of Geitenkaas. It's 0.6 of a second, but with these DRS zones they will be back within a few tenths in no time. As we go on to lap 6, 23 laps still remaining, as the entire top 8 still within DRS range of each other. The gap towards Ruben has now grown to over 3 seconds now, as he's really struggling to keep it within. As Daniele, a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. His race is going from bad to worse, and make it worse because he is out on lap 6. The Haas driver, I think he given up on this race, already picking up a 6-second time penalty in 5 laps time. So Haas remain with one driver, but that one driver is a very handy one because he is currently in P3 and well within contention for the race win.
Indeed he is, as unfortunately Daniela is the first one to retire from this race then, as he's called it quits. He picked up a penalty in the early stages. Octavius dropped back. I think he had a moment in the first sector there as he gave up a few places, and he's going to drop towards the back end of the field as well, because here comes Mercedes, but settles in behind him as he's now a ghost. As we see the guys in front again fight out first place, but no moves being made so far down towards turn 12. It's a very high speed tactical game of chess around here. Nobody wants to make a move first. They all want to stay in DRS of each other, try and get those places they need towards the last stage of the Grand Prix, as they don't want to go for it just yet because they're comfortable where they are. But for people like Kevin and Van and Fireplace, who are stuck further behind in this train with nowhere to go, are just hoping they can get themselves further up the grid, as F1 Shorts has overtaken, not yet though, Stefan side by side with him as he gets squeezed off the track in towards turn 16. More contact between the two as Stefan now muscles his way past. Up into 12th place he goes, ahead of the Mercedes driver, as we now enter lap 7 of this Grand Prix with all these guys in hot pursuit of each other. It's so